Hi, babies. Going to talk a little bit more about the up transits. So my name is Astro Brie, and I'm an astrologer. And this is us looking into Saturn moving signs and Pluto moving signs. So we've got a little bit longer till March until this transit will be in full effect, and it will last until 2043 of Pluto. But for now, we're just going to talk about Saturn because Saturn has been going through the stars of Aquarius for about a year and a half. And we're going to talk to, initially, I'm going to talk to Taurus, and then I'll talk to the air signs. So Taurus frequency, Sun, Moon, rising. Saturn has been in your 4th house, while Pluto has been in your 10th house, while Pluto has been in your 9th house. Since 2009-8, Pluto has been ripping through the stars that we credit to tropical Capricorn, sidereal Sagittarius, and with this frequency, it has been affecting you at your 9th house. Okay, this is your faith house. No doubt Taurus energy has been really having crises of faith and building an ability to have a personal definition of faith that is concrete and reliable for quite some time. It has really been about pulling self in for Taurus. For Taurus as well, having Saturn going through your 10th house this last year, really making you, pushing you out so that you can take those jobs, cut off those dead ends, own up and boss up, but also be held responsible for the choices and the frequency you put off. That's Saturn coming through the 10th house. Everybody can see this. Again, I will say for Taurus rising, Taurus moon, especially Taurus rising though, this frequency, all of these planets, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter at the moment, and Chiron at the moment are all in your upper house. They're all for the world to see. People have been seeing your crisis of faith, your expansion in philosophy. They've been understanding that you're going through something since 2009 that has shifted you. And over the last year, with Saturn moving into your 10th house, you've been owning up to those things. You've been like claiming those experiences as your own and helping them redefine you as an adult in your maturity. For some Taurus rising, Taurus moon, and Taurus sun, you also have a Saturn return right now and coming. You might have a Saturn return in Pisces. Saturn speaks to the night chart's father, the day chart's uncles, and other masculine energies. So if you're born during the day, the sun will represent your father in many ways, but if you're born during the night, it's Saturn is the tricky one. It's representing the masculine and the restriction and the boundaries. For Taurus rising, Taurus moon, and Taurus sun, there is a restriction from the rest of the world, making you redefine what it is you really want to be, making you really examine who it is you want to be and what the legacy that you really want to have. And as this energy continues on and Saturn moves from the Aquarius stars where it is now and into the early tropical stars of Pisces, which is sidereal Aquarius, it's still very strong. Okay, Saturn will be still very strong, and it will make more effect as it gets into Pisces because this is a sextile to you and your 11th house. As Saturn moves from your 10th house to your 11th, you're going to find that the people you're partnering with, the people you're friends with, the people you're spending your time with and giving your energy to and getting energy from are a much more mature, older person. And it's going to be people who have experienced loss, true loss. Those are the people you're going to pull in because they have the best lessons for you. That is your 11th house Pisces. That is how Taurus gets so stubborn and grounded about what they want. It's because they watch their friends lose and let go of everything. Pisces 11th house. So Taurus, as this frequency of Pluto moves into your 10th house, you will find your seriousness, boss up energy really getting redefined here. You're going to definitely see those crises of faith as examples of a frequency you want to either produce or not produce anymore. And you will take action towards those things over the next 20 years. As Pluto moves through your 10th house, you will be redefining what success means for everyone. Okay, everyone will be paying attention. Okay, so let's go into the air signs. Gemini, I love you. You're in my 7th house. Love you. However, Mars is there now, so you're acting the dick. It is squaring Mercury at this very moment, and Neptune, making it so that whatever you say is hitting on target, it's hitting point, it's going far, and it's actually all the things you're not saying too, because Mercury and Mars are in an opposition right now, Mercury and Neptune are in opposition, squaring Mars from your sign. No doubt that you're just producing a lot of communication without actually saying anything, whether that's body language or eyes rolling or like tone of voice when you say something. There are messages inside your messages inside your messages. So I need you to be really careful about who you're talking to and who you're saying things to. If I'm the only astrologer who has told you this so far, Gemini, I am sorry, but you got to get on top of that. You can't just be spouting off everything comes out of your mind, because although you will create beautiful ripples, those ripples will come back as wakes and they'll take you down. Okay. And that's because Saturn's in involvement with all of this mess, and Saturn's karma, and he doesn't let anybody get away with anything. Okay. So let's continue on. So for Gemini rising, Gemini moon, Gemini sun, Saturn will be moving into your legacy house, and Pluto will be moving into your aspirations and faith house. You can expect crisis of faith. You can expect loss. You can expect struggle and stress when it comes to pushing for your dreams, breaking out, busting through. All of these things are going to be a lot harder over the next 2.5 years, starting in March, because of Saturn moving into Pisces, where you are generally the jack of all trade. You will now be slowed down and told you have to. And I know you're like, slow me down. Yes, slow you down. You have to pick a lane, Gemini. And that's what this Saturn in Pisces is going to ask you to do. And as Pluto takes its very slow transit through Aquarius, and Saturn moves every 2.5 years into a different sign, it will eventually come into your sign. So let's look at that. So when Pluto is in Aquarius and Saturn moves into Gemini, it will be, I'm almost there. Slow moving. It will be July 2030. So yes, 8 years from now. I know it's a long time, but you really need to consider this date because it is an end point for this chaos of crisis, personal crisis that you'll be experiencing. So as Saturn's moving into initially it's going to move into your legacy house, and then it's going to move into your friend zone. Yes. Yep. And then it will move into your house of endings, and then it will move into your sign. Okay? That's the pattern. Again, it's currently in your faith house, in your house of understanding the bigger picture of where you put your faith and how you understand higher philosophies, how you understand why life works the way it does, and how you're connected to God or your God or goddess or whatever you want to call it, Gemini. Saturn is currently, Pluto has been moving through your 8th house, making you understand since 2008, making you understand debt, making you understand loss, making you understand sharing in a way that brings you to your knees when you refuse to listen to the lesson. No doubt this has been exhausting for most Geminis. However, that part's done now. And you are moving into a section of the sky where Pluto will come into your faith house and out of your debt. The intensity and the power that comes with Pluto only happens when it's activated by transits to your personal chart. If you have any placements in Aquarius, this is going to be even more effective for you, Gemini. But even if you don't, because Pluto's coming into a trine, it's a positive aspect to whatever placements it is that you have, whether it's your sun, your moon, or rising. Whatever placements you have in Gemini will be positively affected by this Pluto and negatively affected by the Saturn, because the Saturn coming through over the next 2 years is just going to square your placements. It's a learning curve. It's going to show you cannot say you're this and still act this way. You must change the core in order to change the demeanor on the outside. Okay. So that's what Saturn's going to teach you. It's going to show you the roots and the things that you've been leaning on and things you've been depending on. It's going to show you what use they are, or if they had any use in the first place. Okay. So for Gemini, I would say as Saturn moves into Pisces, you are going to be confronted quite a bit. Who you are, where you're coming from, where you want to go. That 2.5 year transit is there to really push you to claim those things that you claim you are and give you the concrete evidence to stand on those claims. Okay. And yeah, no doubt over the next 6 months, you're going to see a lot of things closing up that looking back are going to feel like a different person lived that life. Long transit, long coming, big closures. Okay. So Gemini, again, your 8th house has been rattled with Pluto since 2008. That is the house of sharing debt and aspirations, for like merging into somebody else. It is where you give energy to others so that you can potentially grow from it. Pluto coming through there has taught you the intensity of that kind of connection, for good or bad. And now that Pluto has finally moved out of there and is going to be moving into your 9th house, all of those losses, all of those harder lessons will become redefining in how you go forward and the words you say about yourself and the faith that you take with you. And as Saturn moves into Pisces, you're really going to take all of that aspiration, all of that new faith, that intense new faith that you will really have in yourself. And you're going to be able to redefine how you boss up, how you make magic at work just by, being that person. Okay. Gemini rising, especially, this one is super powerful. Okay. Over the next 2.5 years, 3 years, actually, specifically, it's going to be amazing. You're going to see some serious stuff coming down the line. There may be contracts that are expensive and you may have to make certain routines extremely vital for you. You may have, it may be that you find yourself restricting yourself to only people you feel safe with, and your socialization just gets right thinned down. Okay, that's also going to be Neptune moving through your 11th house, but that's another video. So again, Saturn is currently helping you by giving you these opportunities to see how your words falling on your friends isn't necessarily falling the way you need them to, or people are taking what they need to. That's the Mars Saturn energy that you're experiencing right now. Okay. But coming forward, when Saturn moves into Pisces and Neptune moves into Aries and Pluto moves into Aquarius, you're just going to boss up. You're just going to boss up. It's not going to be silly Gemini energy anymore. It's not. It's the twins taking over because there's 2 of you. And that's a hell of a lot more powerful than 1. Okay, Gemini, I love you. I'm going to move on because I've been here a minute. All right. So I talked to Aquarius a bit already, but I will talk to Aquarius again. I'm going to do Libra first, though. So Libra, this energy of having Pluto in your 10th house. Is it your 10th house? Yeah. No, it's your 4th house. Pluto has been in your 4th house since 2008, Libra. So Libra Moon, Libra Sun, Libra Rising. There really has been a life-defining changes in your roots. I'm a Libra Moon here, and I can say since 2008, I've lost both of my parents. I've married and divorced twice, and I've had 3 children. Yeah, I have moved probably 100 times in that time frame as well. I'm a Sagittarius rising. We move a lot. But having your moon placement. So if you're a night chart person, your moon is always going to be more important than your sun. And if you're sun chart placement, your sun is always going to be more important than your moon. Okay. Am I cancel? Am I? Ooh, we're good. Yeah, 14 minutes. Okay. So Libra energy, as Pluto moves into your 5th house, you're going to find that your children are getting quite serious and powerful. in the way that they enact, in the way that they work, in the way that they move, your creations, your work, your things that you do that come right from your soul and outwards. That's your fifth house. Okay. So your children, your creative endeavors, your playful manner, your passionate energy where you find love and creativity. That's the house. And right now, Libra, you have been experiencing Saturn for the last year and a half moving through your fifth house. There's been a lot of karmic restriction from your children, from your creative endeavors, and a lot of, no doubt, painful lessons, especially during the retrograde energies. As Saturn moves out this March and moves into Pisces, it's going to move into your sixth house. The structure of Saturn in the sixth house is one of the better places for Saturn to go, because Saturn's a malefic, okay? Meaning that it doesn't just bring positive energy, it brings reaping. It has been known to be called the Grim Reaper, Saturn energy. That's the Capricorn frequency of Saturn. And having Saturn go through your sixth house, you will structure your habits, your health. And if you don't, you will find the karmic lesson in that. Okay. Saturn in the sixth house can also mean that you're undergoing some kind of, because it's a 2.5-year transit, you're undergoing some kind of revision, restricting your habits in general, restricting you may find quitting smoking is really easy at this time, or quitting drinking, or whatever it is that you may be doing, Libra. It's just going to be super easy through 2023 and 2024 to make those choices for yourself. And if you don't, you'll find yourself in a Cancer bed by the time Saturn moves into Aries. I'm not kidding here. When Saturn goes into Pisces, we are literally getting karmic plate. Here, handle your shit. Okay, don't handle your shit. Here's the garbage disposal. Like, it's just, you don't get two choices here. This is your opportunity, Libra, to really grow the fuck up so that you can get the things that you want. And I know I'm being a little harsh, and Libra's like, whatever, you don't have to swear at me like that. I get it. I'm a Libra. I'm telling you right now, we don't have time to mess around. All right. So when Saturn moves into Pisces, there will be an accumulation, okay, slow accumulation of karma in your habitual habits and your hidden enemies. The people that you don't know that are talking shit about you, they are going to get some type of karmic retribution. You'll see it. You'll fucking see it, man. I'm not kidding. And those who have had your back and supported you also will be getting their karmic retribution. Also, so Pluto moving into Aquarius, the amount of, because of these two planets shifting the way that they're about to shift, there is an experience that you've already kind of had with Neptune here. Neptune has been going through the transit of Pisces since 2011. And it will very soon, around 2025, it'll be out. Yeah. In 2 years' time, Neptune will be in Aries. Less than 2 years. 4 years. Hold on. April 2025. March 2025, we have Saturn in the middle of Aries, and Pluto has just moved into Aquarius. And in April 2025, Neptune will move into Aries as well. Okay? It's a whole new world. When the gigantic planets that go so slowly move into a new sign, it is a new world, new paradigm, new downloads, new matrix. Okay. So for Libra, when Neptune moves into Aries, the way that you connect with people will completely shift and change. Okay. It will become ethereal, psychic almost. Virgo's been experiencing this for like a decade and a bit now, since 2011. Virgo has had Neptune moving through the 7th. And if you talk to any Virgo, Libra, if you talk to any Virgo, they'll tell you people are fucking weird. They don't tell you the truth. They lie. People lie. That's what a Virgo will say to you. And by the end of Aries, Neptune, you're going to be saying the same thing. people lie. You can't take them at their word. And that's just Neptune being in your 7th house. You need to trust your psychic sensibility. It is about learning your intuition. And really, Libra, with Saturn moving into your 6th and Pluto moving into your 5th and Neptune moving into your 7th all at the same time, this is definitely about you understanding your intuition, picking up on what you see, trusting your gut, trusting your experience, and leading with that instead of expecting other to lead. And I know, Libra, you're like, what the fuck? I work best in partnership. No, you don't. Actually, you don't. Libra handles things all by themselves. Yes, you may be the sign of partnership, but you're the person in the partnership who's making the rules. That's that cardinal frequency. You're the one who says, let's do it in a partnership, but here's the, roommate contract. Very similar to that, like, Sheldon frequency of like, here's the contract. That's true Libra energy. That's strong Libra energy. Sure, you'll have somebody to talk to all the time, but I can promise you, you'll hear more from spirit and source over the next 10 years than you will ever hear out of a person's mouth. Okay? All right, Libra, I love you. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, darlings. Darlings. I know Saturn's been in your sign. You're like, I'm exhausted. I understand. Saturn is moving out of your sign. I want to give you exact date. Tropical Aquarius. Saturn will first dip out in March 2023 in the second week, the middle of the second week on the 7th. Okay, at the very beginning of the second week, we have Saturn dropping into Pisces for the first time. Okay, when this happens, you're going to feel that breath of fresh air. And then immediately you're going to be like, oh my God, my pocketbook. Because the work that you've been doing, the pressure and the energy of like the stamina that you've had going, this constant like, okay, I can just keep going. I can just keep going. That Energizer bunny energy that you have had, that persistentness, that is Saturn being in your sign. You get shit on, you get bogged on. People tell you whatever bad news they tell you. And somehow since February 2021, you've been able to be like, whatever, I got to keep going. I can't stop here. I have to keep going. That will slow down in March of this coming year as Saturn moves into your 3rd house. Okay. Or sorry, your 2nd house of money and sustenance. You may find at that point you are really restricted to how you're spending money. You may have put yourself into some kind of contract situation where you have to pay a certain debt, or whatever it is that you took care of during Saturn in Aquarius, which is obviously been taking care of business. That business sector will get a lot more serious once Saturn moves into Pisces. So as Saturn moves into Pisces, it's going to oppose Virgo. Okay. Virgo is, Virgo's your 8th house. So as Saturn's opposing your 8th house, it's going to be restricting your spending. Okay. So this is an excellent time to do like right now, if you're seeing this video anywhere in the first week or second week of October, it's an excellent time to go talk to a debt consultant or something like this, Aquarius, so that you can really utilize that power of Saturn in your 2nd house coming up next spring. Okay. Personally, that's what I'm doing. I have lots of Aquarius energy. That's where my Venus is. So you're also having Pluto move into your 1st house. And this is another like boss up energy, kind of like Saturn has been coming through your sign, giving you these like roadblocks and these, intense transits, which make you have to stop, re-examine your plan, refine your plan, go forward with your plan. It's like that when Pluto moves into your sign, except it's a lot slower. So we have like 20 years of Pluto being in Aquarius. And by the end of this, all you need to do is look at Capricorn right now. If you have a Capricorn friend, just look at your Capricorn friend and see where they were in 2008, 2009, and see where they are now. That's the shit that you could do. That's the kind of growth that you could have right now for this next 20 years. It's really here to support you, but it's going to strip you of all the bullshit you've got holding you back. That's just the pattern. That's just what's going to happen. Okay. Also, Aquarius, as Neptune moves into Aries in 2025, that will be a redefining experience on how you speak to yourself, how you handle your own frequencies. I will also say that having Saturn move into Pisces at the same time that we are having these other two major transits within the same 6 months or so, there's a lot that can be expected. So I need you to just give yourself a little bit of grace, because Saturn in the first house is a lot of pressure. But by the time it moves into your second house this coming spring, you will feel that pressure release and move into more of a patterned energy. Okay. It will become less random, less sporadic, which is what it's been. Saturn's been getting aspected by things like Uranus, and it's become very sporadic, like these karmic debts and this karmic ties and these awareness of different injustices that may have been done to you. These things are becoming illuminated very slowly. Just go with it. Okay. Don't pressure yourself. Don't get too down on yourself about anything that you may have let happen in the past. Saturn is here to show you what happened so that you don't let it happen again. Not so that you can get upset with yourself that you let it happen in the first place. We can't do anything about the past. Aquarius, you know this. We can only go forward. So let's go forward. All right. So that is my energy reading for the air signs and Taurus. And I will pull up another video for the earth signs. My final Virgo, earth sign. You're my last sign. So I'm going to do a whole video on Virgo. I will talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye.